Hello and welcome to My Wildlife Year Week 51. We're nearly at the end now, so I'm not going to talk very much the introduction to this one. Let's just get on and see what I was up to this week. It's a bit of a miserable day here, but I've just come up to open up the hens and look what I found. Looks like the local sparrowhawk has been busy eating something. They're all, if you look, you can see they've been plucked. There's something left of the insides there. Yeah, they've all been plucked, which means that it's not fox because they know off. So it's been a while since there's been a sparrowhawk, evidence of a sparrowhawk kill in the garden. So it's still around. In fact, oh no, I was going to say is that it there, but is it quite come out here? But that's a jackdaw. Yeah, there it goes. It's just called just to prove it's a jackdaw. Well, the 20-plumed moth is still here. And I'm not in any great rush for it to go outside because it can just overwinter in the house, hopefully. I've just popped my macro lens, clip-on macro lens, my phone, so you can get a close-up of it. Very nice. Right, I'm on the opposite side of the green to my house. My house is just there, and there's the, it's just split up. There's another lot coming in, starlings. There's a lot there, up there. But you can see them flying above the house. There we go. It's going out of focus now. So, it's nice to see them from a distance rather than from right underneath. I was out the other side of the green there, just putting up a nativity trail for the kids for Christmas week, and you can hear, probably, hopefully, that the starlings have all landed now. I don't see any still flying about. As I walked across the green there's about 10 or so still flying about, but I think they've all landed now and are roosting in the hedge. Right, well, I've got something else in the trap this morning. Let's take it out and see what's in it. It was indeed, as I suspected, a wood mouse in there. Always does seem to be at this time of year. So I'll take it out and see what sex it is. I can't see. Looks a bit round, it might be a female. It's hard to tell from this angle. No, it is a male, not a female. So it looks quite a young one, it's quite small. So it will have been probably born, I would guess, sometime in the autumn. Right, not really a myth bust this year, more a bit of a bad bit of advice busting. This time of year quite often you'll see online, I've already seen a couple bits of advice about using used cooking fat, mixing it with oats and putting it out for the birds. Don't. Just don't. It's a bad idea and I'll tell you why. Basically, before it's cooked, lard and stuff like that is really good for birds, but once it's actually cooked, once cooking oil has been cooked, it changes its chemical structure, and yes, potentially it could be, as long as there's nothing extra in there, it could be okay for them to eat. However, what they can do is once they get it in their beaks, if they're then preening themselves, it can actually affect their waterproofing. And during the winter, the last thing you want birds to do is have their waterproofing of their feathers affected. Because if they get wet, they don't dry, the water doesn't run off, it soaks into them, they get cold, they get wet, hypothermia, and then they die. So don't use cooking oil or use cooking fat for feeding the birds. It's just not that. There is another reason though as well. What have you cooked in it? If that's actually got high salt content, the salt content could be so high that it's actually poisonous to the birds as well. So it's a double whammy. It could affect their waterproofing and it could also just affect them what's directly with what's actually in it if there's extra salt. So just don't do it, please. Yeah, it's just not good. Right, I've just discovered another hibernating or butterfly rather than ex-hibernating butterfly. It's been roused, but this one isn't a small tortoiseshell. It's a peacock. So I'll just go and get a tub and pop it in it. Take it out to one of the buildings. Right, so got the tub. Try and there it is. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous. It's now managed to fly away. I'll get it in the tub. There we go. Look at that. It's lovely. Lovely bright colours, and you can see why it gets its name of peacock. Right, so that out of the way. Here's the peacock butterfly released. Those colours are just stunning in this light. Gosh. Right, well, it's Christmas Eve and we have another mouse, or possibly handful, but almost certainly mouse in the mouse trap. One of the mouse traps anyway. Yep, although it's hiding in that fold, you can see that really long tail there, which gives it away as a wood mouse. And after a couple of meals, last few times, this one's a female. Merry Christmas. It's obviously Christmas Day, end of the week 51. So here, up there, I don't know how you can see, there's some rooks flying about, and there is the start of these two starlings. So I'm just going up to shut up the hens, and then going to get some kindling in to light the fire. Don't have the fire on that often, but it's Christmas Day, so why not? So, just in to get the kindling in. There's the peacock butterfly settled down still, and up there's one of the small tortoiseshell that I've released in here too. Can't see any of the others around. Just the old wasp's nests. Even there's a wee remnant of one that either was started and never finished, or it's actually fallen down, but I suspect started and never finished. But there's plenty of dark corners up there that there might be a butterfly hibernating. Right, well, that's my wildlife here, week 51 over and done with. But before I go, a couple of things. One is, I've really struggled past few weeks, just feeling really low and mental health not been great. If you've watched my wildlife here during the year, throughout the year, you'll know that I lost my mum in May, and that's really affected me. At the time, it was tough, don't get me wrong, but the lead up to Christmas has actually, I would say, in some ways been worse. It's really, it's really hit home that she's not there. Last year, we weren't able to spend Christmas with her, but I knew she was there, and it's really hard to say. I won't go into it too much, but what I'm really trying to say is I've really struggled, and I found wildlife and being involved with church and doing the church, recording church services and getting them up online for my wife. That's all been really positive, and it's kept me sort of focused and helped me through it. So if you're struggling with your mental health for whatever reason, whether it's through loss or any other reason, just try and do something you like and enjoy, to focus on it. It might help, it might not. If it doesn't you know, just go and see if you can talk to someone, whether it's a medical professional or someone else. Just don't keep it to yourself, and you know, and share it as well. It is difficult sometimes to sort of just, you know, struggle through on your own. So don't be on your own. That's really takeaway message. So, talking about helping out my wife make videos, so this is the second thing that I want to, and I'm just going to finish off my wildlife year, reach 51 with it. It's not wildlife related, although it does involve a tree and an animal, but it's not wildlife related. I was on the green, we did a walking nativity and carol singing on Christmas Eve, and there was 2 donkeys there, and Smokey, one of the donkeys, was a bit naughty with the Christmas tree. Have a look at this to finish off my wildlife year, and I'll see you all in week 52, the last week of my wildlife year. So till then, stay safe and keep enjoying the wildlife. Bye.
Many days and nights they travelled until they reached King Herod's palace. No king here but me, said Herod, with just a hint of malice. But if and when you find him, please do come and tell. It's really, really important. I worship him as well.